Cheers.
Oh, I got a sour beer today. How's yours?
It's on point.
Not bad.
Oh yeah.
Well, welcome
Thank you.
to
you
our
for having us.
podcast, Brewing Business. We appreciate you taking the time.
Oh no, thank you. Thank you
Absolutely.
for the opportunity.
Oh yeah, we're excited to have you. So with me today, I have Ozzy Perez, founder and CEO of Ozzy's Tacos.
Yes, sir.
Correct?
Yes.
Awesome. You guys have a location here in Phoenix, right?
Yes, we're actually located in South Phoenix. The exact address, it's 1717 West Southern Avenue,
Okay.
Suite 100. We've been there for over 4 years.
Awesome.
Yeah, so anytime you want to stop by.
All right, there's your invitation, everybody.
Thank you.
Well, Ozzy, again, appreciate you being on the show today. I kind of want to hear about your story. You know, today you came with your wife. You guys obviously have an awesome business and personal relationship, or else she probably wouldn't have married you, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So the better
15
out.
years.
Oh, congratulations. It's
Thank
another
you.
huge triumph right there. How'd you guys come up with the concept? Where did it start? Were you always making tacos and decided I want to have a taco shop? Or
no.
how did this all happen?
We're originally from California.
Okay.
We moved here a couple months after we got married. We started working, you know, we were very young. My wife, she had the same job for 13 years. I started working at a couple jobs, started moving up. I went to Frito-Lay. I was there for about 8 years
Okay.
as a sales rep.
Big corporation.
Yes, which is actually down the street.
Yeah.
Then I ended up in Red Bull.
Okay.
By the time, you know, I was thinking about leaving Frito-Lay, I was just having thoughts, ideas. One day I just got home. One of those days, it was a little bit frustrating. It was a long day. I told my wife, I said, look, what about if I quit my job? You know, we got a little bit of money. We invested in a food truck, and I quit my job.
And you guys just did it.
No, she basically told me I was crazy.
Okay.
She kind of laughed at me. She said, "What do you need a food truck for?" You know, I never worked not even at a fast food restaurant, so no background as far as in the restaurant industry. So it was pretty odd for me to say something like that, but at the same time, you know, I kind of had already been
Thinking
thinking about it, studying the idea.
And Ozzy, with that, tell me a little bit. Corporate culture is so much different than a small business.
Of course.
And I know a lot of people are living that 8 to 5 lifestyle every day,
Right.
sometimes later just to make their supervisor happy and maybe get a raise at the end of the year.
Yes.
What went into that decision? Like what ran through your mind besides I want a taco truck?
It was a really good job. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I mean, I was in my mid-20s making pretty decent money.
Those
back
are great
then.
companies too.
It's still a great
with good
company.
reputation.
With great reputation,
Yep.
of course. Huge company. I just didn't want to give the best my prime time. You know, I was never gonna be 25 again,
Yeah.
or I was never gonna be 30. So I wanted to make the best out of my
Energy.
energy,
Yeah.
my prime time. So, you know, I kept on working there after I came up with that, you know, comment.
Concept. Yep.
And, you know, I just kept on insisting, you know. That was probably about a year and a half to 2 years before I even left the company. So then when I left, I was working 4 days. It was like a 4-10 schedule, so started giving me more free time. So I kept on bugging, and she bought me a little taco cart.
Your wife did?
Yeah, small little taco cart.
Okay.
Started making food at home, and all of a sudden, you know, somebody wanted me to make some tacos for their little gathering or party or whatever.
Okay.
So then all of a sudden, you know, we just lose track, and I was being booked every weekend.
Oh, as a caterer
Yeah.
with your little taco
Uh-huh.
cart. Okay.
And with the money that I was already generating from that, you know, we used it to invest in a hot dog cart.
Okay.
So I kind of deviate from doing the little caterings to start doing selling Sonoran hot dogs.
Okay.
you know, the bacon wrap hot dog, Mexican
Yeah,
style.
because what is
yeah.
a Sonoran hot dog? Tell
So
us.
for starters, it's a different bread
Okay.
than, you know,
Your typical
the
white
typical-
Wonder Bread,
right,
whatever
right.
it is. Okay.
It's a bacon wrap. You know, it goes with beans, grilled onions. There's all kinds of different ways how you can
Yeah.
dress it up. So we bought that, and we started selling hot dogs outside a liquor store. I knew the
owner?
owner.
Okay.
So I went up to him once and said, "Hey, look, thinking about doing this. You know, do you mind if I set up outside?" Blah blah. So we started doing that on the weekends.
Okay.
And same thing again. You know, we started getting traffic. We started with the Instagram page. My wife, she used to handle like Facebook, Instagram page.
All the social media stuff.
We came up with the logo, which is like not even our logo anymore, but you know, we still have it.
Yeah.
And we would just, you know, show up on the weekends, you know, sell, and from there we started incorporating a little bit of seafood,
Okay.
like Mexican seafood, like ceviche and stuff like that. So that's how we kind of like created Señor Ozzy's, but without even knowing. That wasn't even a plan, you know. It just came like we started getting all these pieces.
Very
and,
fortuitous.
Yes, and
Yeah.
then at the end, you know, we created this whole puzzle, which
Okay.
is now what we have. Because I don't know if you had a chance to look at our menu. We have
You have a variety.
a good variety
You
of
do.
food.
You've got
yeah.
tacos, the Sonoran hot dogs, the seafood. And this all started in the cart outside of
Right.
the gas station, but it really started at your kitchen table when your wife bought you your
Exactly.
first truck.
Exactly.
So I love that, because when you talk about building from the ground up, you can't get further to the ground than that right there. You know, creating something from scratch, which sounds like, is food a passion for you? Do you enjoy making food
I
for
do
others?
enjoy.
Okay.
I never thought that would be a passion for me, because, like I said, you know, never work at no restaurant,
Yeah.
no background, nothing whatsoever. But before that, you know, I make sure I took, I did some research. You know, did my food manager's course.
Yeah.
Never took like a actual culinary course. But you know, I've been learning down the road. I remember I used to YouTube a lot. I believe a lot on learning. You know, you can have so much education, but you're still
hands-on.
You're still gonna learn every single day.
Yeah.
You know, you gotta be open for that too, because there's a lot of ways of thinking.
Yeah.
And the way I think, it's that whether I know this much or that much, I can always learn something new every day.
You can always learn more.
Exactly.
And that's actually, I've got a question. Do you have a college degree?
I don't.
Okay.
I don't have a college degree.
And so it was much more of that hands-on,
Yes.
let me do it myself,
Right.
to learn what's the best practice.
Exactly.
And it sounds like that's exactly what you did.
So going back to Frito, I was doing pretty good at the company. You know, for 5 years, probably, you know, top five.
So quite some time. Okay.
Top five. You know, within the sales reps here in Phoenix. So I would just think, you know, if I can do this for this company, I can do this for myself.
Yep.
So I just had to find a way, you know,
To make the transition.
open up our own trail and, you know, move forward, you know, but with one plan in mind, you know, just get to where you want to go, you know, from point A to point B. But, you know, there's still a lot of bumps, you know.
So, Ozzy, that's a great point you make. Bumps in the road.
Yes.
Every entrepreneur that I've interacted with, that we've had on the show, there's always a sort of what I like to call origin story, where you kind of woke up and said, I'm going to do this and I know it's going to be tough. But a lot of people, they don't know what those bumps in the road are going to be. And you've got to prep for that, both mentally, emotionally, financially. What were some of the bumps you encountered along the way?
It's been many.
Yeah?
Oh yeah, I mean, it's been many, you know, personally, you know, it could have been, you know, between, you know, me and my wife, you know, timing or whatever, not being able to make it to go
Next
get
month's rent or something?
Exactly.
Okay.
Or, you know, basically I focus a lot of making sure that we have always funds to pay our employees,
Yeah.
because for myself, our employees are the number one priority, because without them we cannot execute. If we want to get somewhere, we need them.
Yep.
We can't do it on our own. So there's always been things like that. At the restaurant itself, we just went through a pandemic. We had to basically kind of reinvent ourselves at some point.
And how did that impact you specifically? Was it a drop in customers? Were you able to get on delivery sites?
We always had Uber
Okay.
Eats. I think having a drive-through helped us a lot.
Okay.
Prior pandemic, we would have, we had 16 tables. Weekends we had 30 to 45 minute wait time for a table, during our peak time.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden next week they tell you, oh, you guys gotta shut the doors. We had 14 people on our team. What do I do? There was no instructions, there's no protocol. It's basically,
You're hit with the government mandate and don't know what to do.
so you basically, have to come up with your own ideas in order to continue open. Somehow we had so much work during the whole pandemic.
Really? Okay.
Oh yes, it was. It was crazy.
Okay.
That brought us a lot of issues too. Those are good problems to have.
Yeah.
But then, people didn't want to work. Unemployment, things like that were affecting. They're still affecting, the restaurant industry.
Oh yeah.
I go to any restaurant. There's always a
Short-staffed.
hiring, a hiring sign for whatever, So those are kind of like the problems that we had to come along. Another thing, it's like supplies. There's a lot of supplies that we're short. There's still a lot of things that are being short at the moment, but we kind of like have to work with what we have. And
let me ask you,
Yes.
Ozzy, because there is this big supply chain issue out there right now, everybody is fully aware of it. I even had a conversation with the business owner the other day who does a lot of printing, and he said, I can't get enough envelopes in time to service my clients. Something
Right.
as simple as an envelope. I mean, what kind of specific items are you short on right now as a result of this supply chain issue going on in the United States?
I want to say probably containers, disposable containers,
Okay.
takeout stuff. At one point, the meat, went skyrocket.
Yeah.
At one point, there was no chicken. So it's been like
One thing after another
one thing
a little
after
bit.
another. Yeah.
And it started with the pandemic and a mandate from the government saying, hey,
Right.
you need to change what you're doing. And I like your comment. It's almost as if the pandemic disincentivized your employees to work. What kind of conversations did you have when they're getting these stimulus checks and probably a lot of welfare programming to say, hey,
Well, I
I've
mean-
got a job right here for you?
We always had signs,
Yep.
but people will be like, well, why would I want to work if
I'm getting free money.
I'm getting free money?
How do you
And-
have a conversation with an employee about that? When I mean, as a small business, you can't pay six-figure salary to everybody.
It's tough.
Yeah.
You just find a way.
What was your way?
I'm always pretty upfront. I'm straight to the point. I let them know the way I think, and I like to hear what they think. Like for example, I take a lot in consideration of their opinion. We were probably one of the last places to reopen for dining
Okay.
when they went to like 50% capacity.
Yep.
I asked, the people that we had at the moment, the staff that we had. I said, what do you guys feel like doing? Should we open? Should we just continue doing takeout? Because business wasn't hurting,
Yep.
just doing takeout. They're like, well, if you're asking for our opinion, we appreciate that. But, I think we're doing fine. Maybe we can hold on. I said, yeah, okay. That's what we all want to do. We all came up to an agreement. And sure thing, we didn't open probably until late September last year or maybe October.
Okay.
I don't remember. But you know, a lot of the other restaurants were already open to like
Yeah.
60 or 75%, whatever capacity was at the moment. And we mainly opened because customers, they wanted to come and sit down and enjoy the meal at the place, you know, with different atmosphere, you know. We really appreciate everybody that supported us, you know, when we need it, because without our customers, we probably wouldn't be open.
Wouldn't be in business.
Exactly. You know, like I said, you know, takeout was huge for us.
And your drive-through, I didn't know you guys had a drive-through.
Yeah, the drive-through. And going back to the menu, I feel like our menu, it's very flexible for us to operate, whether it's takeout or dine-in.
Okay.
So,
In that sense of collaboration with your employees, you know, this is the first time I'm hearing a CEO tell me that they actually asked for input from their team to see how the business would be ran, which I think is a positive step for solid leadership. I mean, that's a leader in and of itself. When you talk about running a business with such a shortage of labor right now, because people are getting these welfare checks and stimulus checks and free money every day, rather than you pushing them towards that direction, you say, I want you to stay here. How can I keep you here? And I guess that answer was you stayed closed a little longer.
yeah, I feel like when you have someone like that, you know, behind you, that takes you in consideration for future decisions, or maybe a decision like that, because it's at the end of the day, it's business, you know.
Yeah.
I don't feel like I lost money by not opening early. I feel like we made the right decision.
Yeah.
And I always like to talk, you know, because we are a team.
Yeah.
It's not about me, it's about us. I think that's what people evaluate at some point, you know, because you can go to a different job, or they come from a different job where it was like,
The culture is different.
You're gonna do this, and this is what you're gonna do. No questions asked. So we're pretty lenient when it comes to that. You know, I like to be very flexible. I like to have conversations with them. You know, the door's always open. I work with them, so I like to be part of the team.
A servant leader.
Exactly.
Yeah, which is so important right now, especially in the environment that we're living in. The retention of employees in Phoenix and Arizona as a whole is lower than it's ever been. Our economy is suffering because people don't want to go back to work. And I almost wonder if we had this conversation a year ago and other business owners can kind of see how you're managing your teams, would they be in a better financial position because their employees felt like they were a part of the journey? Whereas I think a lot of the times these decisions come from top down, and you know, those employees are disincentivized from doing anything. So I love that comment, and servant leader is what immediately comes to mind. Ozzy, talking about the dynamic of you and your wife in the business, I know you guys run things together. You know, do you guys make all your decisions together as well as with the team? Or are you kind of the figurehead and you know the direction the company is going?
Big decisions, we make them, me and my wife.
Okay.
When it comes to something, you know, that has to involve, you know, other people.
Yep.
As far as, you know, team members. Yeah, we like their feedback. I feel like feedback is very important to make our decisions, because when you're not happy, you don't perform.
Yeah.
You don't perform 100%. You know, you're unhappy.
You're not going to show up to work maybe, or you have a sick day.
Right.
Because I love when my staff members tell me that they're sick on a Monday. I always find it hard to believe, but you know.
You know, we don't really get sick calls.
Yeah.
So that's a good thing.
That's awesome.
It's a small team, but I feel like it's solid because, you know, we have such a good relationship with the team.
No, I love that.
Yeah.
So on a different note, it sounds like you guys prevailed during the pandemic. You stayed ahead of the game. You know, I really think you staying closed longer it sounds like a great decision, because now from what I understand, you're expanding.
Yes.
And you're expanding pretty rapidly, or at least are going to start to. Is the word franchise an idea that you've tossed around a little bit?
You know what? That was part of the very first idea when we moved into the actual brick and mortar location.
Yeah.
Just like that one crazy idea when I walked in that one day that I said, about if I quit my job and, we get a food truck.
Yeah.
It was the same thing. I said, okay, we're already going to do this. How about if someday we make it into a franchise? It took us, over 4 years.
But you thought about that in the beginning,
Yes.
knowing that eventually
Right.
you would maybe want to do this.
Yes.
Okay.
One of the reasons why it was because I said, well, I think we have something unique. There's not a whole lot of places where you can go get a Mexican shrimp cocktail through a drive-through.
Yeah.
Or you can order fajitas through a drive-through, or something more traditional if we go that route. So I feel like our menu has helped us a lot to move this direction. So now that we have a proven concept, that we've been in business for over 4 years,
And a proven product,
right?
it sounds like.
We believe that, and we feel very confident that it will be a pretty good turnout. In fact, we already signed a contract. We have.
Congratulations.
Thank you. We have someone else that is very interested.
Okay.
We're still talking, and we're coming up with some strategy to be able to perform much better the following year. With Erica, she's part of our team now. She works
Is
with
Erica
us.
your consultant?
Yes.
Okay.
And we're working on a strategy to move forward and have very positive results next year.
Wonderful. Sounds like 2022 is going to be an exciting year for you guys.
Yeah,
Yeah.
We're shooting for that.
Okay.
Yeah, we feel pretty confident. It's going to work out.
That's awesome. So, Ozzy, let me ask you, what does a typical day look like for you? I mean, are you 24/7 always thinking about Señor Ozzy's, or are you splitting your time between, okay, I think I want to change up the menu, and then I think I want to expand this business, and then I think I want to hire more people? Like, kind of, what is your mindset as a CEO?
Well, every day I wake up at the same time, like 6:30, and having a business and being, like you said, the CEO, it's having a never-ending to-do list. I can have a day already planned in my mind, but there's always going to be something that's going to come out, and you just have to adjust to whatever comes out.
Yeah.
I go to work. I like to be in the kitchen, but at the same time, I have other things that I need to take care of. So I do a little bit of everything.
You wear a lot of hats.
What's that? Oh,
You wear a lot of hats. Yeah.
Yeah, and I like to stay close to it, as much as I can, because I feel like that has already made a huge impact. You can grow something if you don't feed it.
Yeah.
So I have to feed it every day. That's just kind of like the way
Well, you operate.
I operate.
I like that.
My wife, she does the same. Some days she's like, oh, I'm gonna be off today, or she supports me, 100%. She's been, there. Honestly, without her, this would have never.
The model
been,
might not have
yes.
worked.
This would have never happened. We probably wouldn't be here. So thanks to
her, you're
her,
doing well.
Diana.
Well, that's a very nice endorsement of your wife there.
Thank you.
I love your story, Ozzy, and talking about working from the ground up and really chasing the American dream. A lot of people come to the United States, they have this idea that they're automatically going to come and open up a restaurant or buy something and build this company overnight. And with your story, you kept your full-time job, you did something on the side, and you grew that into what now is your full-time life.
Right.
And you're succeeding and expanding, and that's exactly what this show is all about. We like talking with people like you because you've done that hard work to excel. And you talk about American ingenuity. One thing that is so unique about the United States is the opportunity to start businesses like that.
Right.
To start it in your kitchen or your living room and then grow it now into a drive-through location that now already has 2 potentially new locations in a number of years. And it takes that hard work and the balance of life choices of what you and your wife are going to do, both financially as a family. We were talking about you guys having a family at some point, and keeping your employees with you along the way. So Ozzy, a question I ask all of our guests on the show, and while it might be easier said than explained, but what does freedom mean to you in the United States today?
Well, I mean, just like you were saying, you know, it's a country that brings you a lot of opportunities. I think the opportunities are out there for everyone. But is everybody hungry? Is everybody willing to get uncomfortable? You know, is everybody willing to go the extra mile? You know, do that extra side gig after your
8 to 5.
8 to 5. You know, mine wasn't 8 to 5. Mine was like midnight to like noon, 1. So
12-hour days.
Yeah. It was a
And
long
some
day.
with your business.
So with that, you create your own freedom, you know, because if you perform, you'll somehow. One thing I don't think about it's how much money am I gonna make. I think that if I perform, money will come on its own, or we will generate what we need to generate. So with that comes my freedom. That's my personal opinion. We live in a country where we believe in freedom, you know.
Take advantage of it.
Exactly. So might as well take advantage of every single opportunity. Like I said earlier, at the moment I'm 38. I'm not gonna be 38 again.
Yep.
And I don't want to work. I don't work how I used to work when I was 25. But I don't want to work like the way I work at my 38 when I'm 48. Look for your own freedom.
I like that. That's good. Well, Ozzy, cheers, and thanks again for joining us today. And for everybody tuning in to watch, this is Brewing Business, and I'm Austin Jack. Thank you to Ozzy Perez with Señor Ozzy's, and best of luck to you in your endeavors, sir.
Thank you. Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
And
where can we find you?
You guys can find us on our website, señorozzies.com, or Yelp, any platform, social media. Check us out. If you guys are local here in Phoenix, you know, swing by our store, have some tacos.
Tacos of Sonoran Dog. And
exactly.
Who knows, Ozzy might be in a town near you soon. So thanks again for your time today.
Thank
and to
you.
those watching, be well.